bought it back in 2011, if
Is
I'm
it?
correct. Yeah, so I mean, because I don't have the money to buy a monitor right now. I know it's 12K and stuff, but I don't have the money to buy a monitor right
Take
now.
a 1440p monitor. That's gonna be, I
I
think,
am
good.
thinking of buying those curved
Oh,
ones.
आ गया. चालू हो गया.
Okay. There's an Asus one for 12K, I think. Yeah, but anyways, before anyone begins qualifying, I will say this. I very nearly broke out Jeremy Clarkson's toolkit in order to repair my monitor. And if you don't get that reference, then please watch Top Gear and the Grand Tour as well. Last one coming out next year. So have fun with that.
Yes, and hello and welcome everyone to the Hybrid Theory Racing League race around Bahrain. This is a sprint weekend, and it's a unique sprint weekend because we're trialing out a unique format.
I think the format is a winner because the game doesn't have the current sprint race format in it, so we have to make do with what we have. So
and
yes,
that is the voice of Jin, one of your very popular stewards. Ni hao to everyone. Jin, what's your take? Who's gonna be on pole? We're gonna find out.
One of the Red Bulls. Abhishek, he's in the Red Bull. There's no way I don't see Abhishek being on pole. Very honestly, like.
Where is he? He's down P10 right now, so maybe he's chosen a higher downforce setup. Also, Jin, something very important is that we do not have Pakfirm enabled for these sprint weekends.
Yes, exactly. So that makes things more spicy as such.
Exactly. That's going to be...
You were talking about high downforce, and I will say one thing is that Bahrain, even though it's got long straights, it can be quite misleading. So if you run a low downforce, it's not exactly a guarantee to set a fast lap time because for me, Bahrain is one of the best racetracks on the current F1 calendar in terms of how technical this circuit can get. Yeah, you always have to be on the lookout for that. Sector 1, of course, I mean, I'm on board with Abhishek, right? Abhishek, he's in P1, if I'm correct. Yeah, tentatively P1, as long as he doesn't, of course, extend, because it's one-shot qualifying, so no other goes.
Of course, as I can see further back, it's Jishnu and Noble Gata who have invalidated their laps. And it's Shooter who has stumbled down the order a little bit, and it's Wicked Vicky who has risen through the ranks and is currently in P2.
It's changing though.
It is, yeah, exactly.
I don't know, Shooter, prior to the race, Vivek told me that Shooter was practicing no ABS. I don't know if he's driving no ABS here or not.
I don't think so, by that braking. As we come up to the line, I think that's a very good prediction you made, Jin. Abhishek is going to be on pole, and followed by Wicked Vicky, not Shooter. That's 200 separating them.
But look at how close it's between second, third, and fourth. And I would give props to Vivek for one reason, because this is realistic performance. So he is in a realistic Williams and he's stuck it on P4 right there.
That is true. That's quite a impressive feat. But then again, it is Vivek. We do know to expect that from him at this point in time. But that's a stellar lap, the Abhishek, as per usual, and that's a very interesting quali session.
Things are between second, third, and fourth. I mean, there's really no competition between first and second. This is more or less like how the W11 used to take pole. By W11, I mean Lewis Hamilton, of course, on most weekends. And for those who say that if somebody is going to come in the comment section and right now say RB19 better, I will say this: the RB19 was not as dominant over a one lap pace as the W11 was. That is the end of my debate.
Yes,
so now people will leave this, not the lobby, they have to leave the session. We'll have another restart.
We do have a collaborative... I think there's some sort of collab going on here. We have IRL in the chat. Hello IRL, nice to see you from THTRL. We welcome you to the stream.
Yes, the IRL season, we usually have I think 2 or 3 seasons in IRL. So I mean, there's no use going over this restart because everyone has to leave anyhow. So I was saying we have usually 2, 3, seasons in IRL. The first one just got done on the current game cycle. And as
we have Fair Racing League Racing as well, saying hello to you.
Hello.
Nice to have you all here.
Senna is the person who runs Fair Racing League. I'm not 100% certain on that, so please do not quote me.
I think he would run the Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 League, if anything.
Oh, yes.
and people are taking their time, giving us some fantastic...
we have some time to kill, Chip. So the silver arrows or the black arrows, which one do you prefer more?
Personally, I like the silver arrows more.
Yeah, I think it's a very iconic name, iconic livery. The black livery, since 2020, it's the one that has become common, say, and people do associate more with Mercedes since Drive to Survive got very popular when they had the black livery. I think. Yeah, I think it registered its highest TRP when they had the black livery. So yeah,
it did. It really did. But I still feel like some aspects. I would have liked to see Alpine return to racing form with the yellow and blue livery instead of the blue and pink they came back with.
Big caveat with that is that they can't return to it since it was sponsored by Mile 7 and Formula 1 is a little bit harsh on tobacco banning these days.
So. Yes, that's true. And this is the end of this race. We shall be back with the next one very soon.
Of course, it's another qualifying session, and then it's a 25% sprint race, and then a 35% feature race. So
based on the results of the previous one-shot quali that we had.
So sprint is based on this result right now, the one that we set for this quali, and then you'll basically get the gist of it, viewers. Like just bear with us. Just bear with us.
Yes, we got used to the sprint format in real life. We should get used to this as well. And Caesar in the chat saying that Williams was recently sponsored by the castle section at Baku.
Yeah, I heard there were anonymous French-Canadian investors who played a part in it. So yeah.
Yes, there was some very good. Sorry, I don't have to go to weather. I have to go to weekend structure. So that's a 25% race, viewers. That is, I think, about
25% sprint.
25% sprint.
25% race. Otherwise, they'll have to pit. And then
it's a 25% race. Exactly. This is going to be the 25% race, which will act as a sprint race.
Yes.
Sorry. So yeah, the game is still. It gives you the old sprint format from way back when. And
2022.
drivers are preemptively readied up.
Yes. I think they should have allowed some leeway in helping us not do this.
Yes, certainly. Although I can understand their eagerness to get on with it. Yes. I was asked by Bharat if I could send him an invite. So, Jin, if you have him added, can you do so?
I do not have him added, so I cannot send him an invite.
I shall send him an invite.
Another one-shot qualifying, and this is the grid for the sprint. Sprint race, and then we will set whatever the first qualifying session was. That is the grid for your feature race. I'm using sprint and feature because I'm very reminded of the F2 thing because there's a sprint and a feature, so I will use some F2 lingo here. And speaking of F2, if anyone is interested in an F2 league and is actually bound to show up, please let me know so that I can actually get a word in either this league or another league that we call as Indian Racing League. Not the one that you see on TV, not that one.
Yes. Yes. We're on YouTube, the more civilized platform.
Yes, of course, YouTube is more civilized. Not as civilized as Twitch though.
Of course, yeah, of course not. Twitch is by far, I think Twitch is the most popular service for gaming,
yes.
Is it?
Twitch is, yes. Kick is recently coming through, but again, there's some grey areas that Kick is exploiting right now. We'll see how they go through.
And speaking of Kick, we do have an Alfa Romeo driver tonight, Alfa Romeo Kick.
Yes.
I think that is Harsh tonight, So
yes, that's
Harsh was begging.
Harsh is, Harshi is in Ferrari.
Harshi is in Ferrari.
Confused between the two because both of them are in the same geographical zone as well. So
yes, Harsh had asked me to allot the Alfa Romeo to him instead of the Williams, which is around this track. I'm not sure if that's the right call.
No, in realistic performance, for some reason, the Williams is not exactly as fast in a straight line as it is in real life. I don't know how they've coded that, but yeah, that is basically the reality of the situation right now.
Yes. And once again, I see Noble Garter and Wicked Wiggy this time round on top, and apologies for that little moment from
my... It's gone back to Abhishek's again.
Yeah.
It's gone back to Abhishek's again. And of course, I expect him to set a sub 129. Provided he doesn't, of course, track accident.
reasonable
yes.
expectations.
Oh, he had a moment. I say that, and he had just had a moment exiting sector 1. But I don't think it's anything that bad, because he's actually not lost any time or position as such.
And we see Domathor up into P2. That's not what we usually see.
Abhishek is having snaps. He's having a lot of snaps here. This lap not as clean as his first one, so I might actually be wrong on the sub 129 prediction. But
I think it could be a 129.6, 129.7 if he manages to knit it all together. Wicked Vicky is falling down the order, while we have a appearance from Domathor. Vifix is back in the top 5 once again. This is actually quite unpredictable. You don't know who's going to be on top until the very end. Anybody could. You see Domathor peeking into the top 2. He could still be on the front row.
Wicked Vicky again, V3. No, the delta to shooter hasn't changed. I think Wicked Vicky is about, I would say, if I'm correct, I think 2 tenths off. Because given all the differences that are going on, I think it's 2 tenths, give or take.
And I think once again, it is going to be Abhishek's on pole. It's 128.8.
Yes, so I was right with the 129. It's a tenth slower than his previous lap time, and Shooter is 4 tenths faster. Vifix is faster as well, and Vifix has qualified on P3 for this one. So P3, P4 exchanging places. I think if it's Wicked Vicky there, then yes, P3 and P4 have exchanged places. And yeah, I mean, you can always expect carnage at Bahrain start, because it's a decent run up to turn 1, I would say. Not as long as some other tracks like Mexico have. But yeah, once it requires quite it's a very hard braking zone. So
that is true. I'm really looking forward to seeing how turn 1 unfolds. I do want to ask you though, does disabling Park Ferme disable the need to make a mandatory pit stop? Does it? I don't think it does, right? It doesn't. That's not part of the Park Ferme rules, right?
Yes. So Park Ferme is just setup changes. So
exactly,
you can change everything in the setup right now. It's not just front wing limited.
And I'm quite jealous of the drivers that they get to do that. They can run lower wings for quali and higher wings for the race if they wish to do so.
I think it's the other way around. I'd run lower wings for the race because you do need to facilitate and overtake. See, higher wings on this track equates better lap time. But lower wings on the track equates overtaking chances. So we'll see how much they do. I think usually in Bahrain, if I was driving, given the performance level, I'm taking the Red Bull as the benchmark here. It would be like -3 on the wings, give or take. That should allow me enough of a margin to... Is anything like beyond, once you reach the -5 territories on the wings, you kind of like get lost in the shuffle. So you don't want that to happen to you.
Jin, if you were driving as a driver, would you rather want to facilitate for a better chance of overtaking, or would you rather want a more stable car?
It would depend on what car I'm in. But if we take,
would you like to take this?
Yes, I will. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and they illuminate. And as they go out, it's the start of the sprint weekend. Abhishek has a decent launch. Vifix, I think, got a mighty launch. There's a Ferrari in the wall. His Domathor is retired. Oh. What has happened? Is it a VSC? And
it's a full safety car.
It's a full course safety car, and Wicked Vicky, I think, just got Vifix entering turn 1, but he has given, I think he didn't get him. I think he got him as soon as the safety car message popped up. So that's good racing there good racing etiquette there by Wicked Vicky. Props to you, my guy. I have no clue what happened to Domathor. All I saw him was he veered to the left. Could be too much acceleration input.
Possibly. Although I think he started on the right side of the track as well, correct? Did he?
Yes, I don't know. I'd have to check I'll check it after the race, but I'm not sure what position
he started P5, so that's the...
P5 would be the odd side where Abhishek started from. So that would be the outside of the track, the racing line.
Racing line, right? So that's...
Yes.
If he careered across the track, that would have been quite scary for those behind him.
Yes, I think he put too much traction there. I'm just going to check what tires these guys are on, because
it's mediums and soft.
Okay, so Shooter is on mediums. So Shooter is going for the alternate, and I think that this, because it's a 25% race, I mean, there's no other day, it's just soft to mediums, barring any damage that might happen. So yeah, as it stands, I think we'll get racing conditions on lap 3. Lap 3 should be when the safety car is coming in, message should pop up. So that's 11 laps, yes, 11 laps of racing. And you know, Chips, there is a gamble that someone could make, but the the thing is, the field is so close together that it really makes no sense to make that gamble. I was going to say that you could try to pit on hards just now and finish the race, but
will Abhishek do that? I think Abhishek will pit. Oh, he's dummied Vifix into the pit lane, has he? Or Vifix has no wing. Oh.
Okay, I think he had an incident then.
I think he did, yeah, because I'm pretty sure I saw him with a wing. The rest of them are making strategy changes, I'm sure of that. But Vifix has no front wing. Oh, sorry, he does. He does. Oh, I think I just misread it.
Yeah, oh, I think he can do the mediums though, because it's only
he can 10 laps
of racing. Yes. So, I mean, it depends on how cleanly he can make up positions from this point on. But I think if the Red Bulls, and I mean both Red Bulls, don't gap Vifix here, because Vifix is going to de facto lead at one point. If the Red Bulls do not gap Vifix by at least, let's say, 6 seconds, then it's going to be a little bit troublesome for them to catch back to him. And of course, this is the first safety car. We don't know if there'll be another. So yeah, if they pit and then Vifix is in lead and then he gets another safety car, who knows?
If there's another safety car, though, Jin, I think it's going to be just bad for Vifix. Because without a safety car, he's in a very good position to win this race at this current point in time. Because he is
and the Williams in realistic performance. Do not forget, the Williams is very kind on his tires. The harshest tire wear teams are the Ferrari powered cars. So he has one Ferrari powered car in front of him. The rest all are either RBPT or Mercedes engine trains.
So do you mean to say that the tire wear for Harsh is going to be Harsh?
Hershey, not Harsh.
And also Harsh, he's also in a Ferrari engine.
But Harsh is on hard, so he should make it to the end. Vifix will require some tire conservation at one point in the race if safety cars don't come out. So I think it's basically for the first, I'd say 6-7. Oh, its safety car is in this lap. Yes.
That is quite an early call, I'd say. I've not seen the safety car in that early ever.
Yes. Now we shall see how Abhishek dictates the safety car restart, of course. I'm going on cockpit view with Abhishek right now just to see how he takes it. He's weaving. I think he'll take it after the turn, because even if he launches right now, it still gives a chance to. He has launched, but I think Shooter has kept up well with him.
But I think Wicked is not got a very good reaction. But yeah, exactly. You can't overtake then. Jishnu has a bit of a moment, and this is an overly saturated image or too much contrast. I can't make out because you can't make out anything. So much smog.
There's so much fog.
Yeah. And further back, I see a few moves being made. Satvik and Shrikant very, very close. Satvik almost coming close to contact with Harshi, but thankfully, I think they stayed away from that.
Thankfully, there's no damage so far for anyone, I hope, because it would kill their race immediately off the get-go. Right now, Abhishek is. Yeah, Abhishek is. He's going to use the tires, right? He has to.
Exactly. He has to. There's no option for him but to use up those tires.
The safety car would have helped him out. I think without the safety car, it's about a 5% per increase in soft tire length, so per lap. So yeah, it helps him. Also, this track not very high on tire wear, unlike previous F1 games, but you do feel the slide at around 40-45% ish. So right now Vifix is stuck behind Hershey. He's very close. I don't think this is the place to overtake though. So he'll wait gladly for the main straight, and that's where he should get him.
It's Williams versus Ferrari. Who's gonna come out on top? I don't see any moves being made further up. I think this is the closest we can get to a move. Maybe
the battle right now.
Harsh and Noble. This is the battle for P11, which is as per the sprint point. I think that's just outside the points. Is it?
Yeah, this is just outside the points. I think it's. I'll have to check the points for format just to reconfirm, but I think anything outside the top 10 is no points. So
exactly, Vifix going for the move.
Vifix going for. Oh, he has good straight line. I think he's using a bit of battery as well to facilitate the overtake, and he has to be aggressive right now. There's no other
look at the drag on that Williams. He could not make the move.
That's what I meant. Realistic performance isn't accurately represented because the Williams is, I think, one of the. So Hershey spun in front of him. It was a low traction zone. I just saw that one.
I was actually following the Jishnu Shrikant battle, which is really spicing up. These two have prior history as well.
Yes.
They have come to blows many times and they have made contact many times. So yeah, this is also a very spicy battle. But we do have Vifix now up into P7 and Hershey all the way down in P12, the last of the running cars. Does he have front wing damage or something?
No, he doesn't. He basically stepped on the accelerator too soon post turn 1, so that is a low traction zone. So I think his rear end just kicked out. So a little bit heavy on the oversteer maybe. Usually oversteerish setups will lead to such a conclusion on that corner.
That is true.
Shrikant Das, number 5, obviously emulating the great Mansell and Vettel with that. I just hope he races like Mansell and Vettel right now. And that's, I think he track extended on that.
Yeah, that is. I was just going to say that.
Wheels,
he went all 4 wheels over, but I'm not sure if the game was that strict with him. We have Noble on the back of Smith, so Harsh got past Smith and Noble had to hang back.
Yeah, Noble should hang back. He should overtake him on the main straight. It's a much, let's just say, there's going to be less debate if someone overtakes you on the straight as compared to that corner. So let's just put
Shooter is coming under increased threat from Wicked Vicky.
Yes,
Shrikant is putting Jishnu under threat.
Hasn't kicked in yet, and it's not long enough.
Oh, this is a 3-way battle. Harsh, Noble, and Smith. And Noble might get the switch on both of them. Smith has had a bit of a moment.
Comes Noble got her, but he hasn't because DRS.
He might still get it though. He might still get it because of.
But Harsh has DRS as well. Harsh has DRS as well.
Oh, so. Yellow flag for Harshi, who has reset to track. There you go.
Yeah, unfortunate that.
Why? Why do that?
So I mean, life stewarding penalty, I guess.
I think you can dish that out right away. So Jin, Abhishek has pulled out a 7.5 second gap to Vifix, while Shooter has not been able to do something similar.
That's a good enough delta.
Shooter has not done something similar yet.
Yeah, so the issue is that since Abhishek has a 7.5 second delta, I expect it to increase up to, let's say,
11?
Give or take by the time 12.
Yeah, I think 11, 12 is...
If he pits and comes out, he'll be 5.5 seconds behind Vifix. So I think it's that much of a pit lane delta. So yeah, 5.5 seconds, which is easily manageable, but he has to give himself the laps to do it. That is the most important thing. 25% again, shorter race distance.
He does need to make the most of these tires. He needs to use them up right away, and I say go into the mediums this lap, at the end of lap 6. I think that would be a sensible strategy call. Yeah.
That is the most sensible strategy call that can be made. And Wicked Vicky, of course, with the power of DRS.
What about Shrikant in the other McLaren, also making the move on
and he
his fellow. Oh, they make slight contact. There's wheel banging, although I don't think that's problematic. And
Shrikant will get DRS again.
Although Shrikant did have to lift there. Yeah.
No, Shrikant doesn't. It's Jishnu who gets it. So I think Jishnu was behind entering the DRS detection point.
Yeah, I don't think Shrikant judged that well. But that's good battling between them.
The good thing is for Vifix would be that since Jishnu and Shrikant are battling, they're not exactly like setting the world on fire right now. So Vifix is pretty much in their pit stop delta alone.
Exactly, and we have another yellow flag. Once again, it's Harshi at the very same corner when he reset again. What is he doing? What's he doing, man? Yeah.
That's 20 seconds?
Yeah, exactly.
20 seconds.
We do give quite a stringent amount of penalties. We were quite stringent with our penalty dishing out system.
Yeah, I mean, more than time penalties, it's penalty points that these drivers need to
exactly, and you can't be resetting the track at all, let alone that often. So you can't be doing that. I see Noble and Harsh have been embroiled in a very, very close battle, and Harshi has retired. And that is going to be a safety car. Perfect timing for Abhishek.
Perfect timing for Abhishek. And now,
Shooter?
I think
Vifix
Shooter has to
box,
pit.
Shooter
has to pit. Shooter has to box.
Will Vifix box? Shooter staying out.
Vifix. Oh my, that's interesting. Vifix should box.
I would rather have him. I think it would have been better for him to. Oh, Vifix with the pit lane overtake on Sathik, but Sathik stays ahead.
Yeah, that was
Shooter. Why did he not box?
I think he was.
Even Harsh makes sense, but why would Shooter stay out?
I think Shooter stayed out because I think the thought in his head would have been that he would have been held up, which isn't exactly true because it was 4.5 seconds by the time Abhishek entered.
Exactly.
So I think at best a second, maybe a second longer than he would have.
He would have been behind Wicked Vicky at most, but now he's going to be at the back of the field.
Yeah, so it's going to be a charge from the back for him. But keep in mind, Chips, just the second safety car, no VSC so far. The limit is it still 5 or 6 for 25% races?
I think it is. It could be 3, I think, or maybe 4. But they will reduce it for shorter race distance.
Yes, of course.
Somehow, I think Shrikant had to box. Did he have to stack? He did behind wicket Vicky because he was battling Jishnu and now he's behind Raman.
So now the interesting thing is for Abhishek is that he has the buffer of wicket behind him. Jishnu will be very fast on those softs. So in order to pull an overtake off, you need to be about, just to follow the car in front, you need to be about half a second faster on average. And after that, the DRS will do everything for you. So as long as you are 3 tenths behind entering DRS zone, given the wings everyone, I think, is running, yeah, it's pretty much an easy overtake at that point.
What's your prediction? What wings are they running?
I think, given how Abhishek's was very fast through the technical bits, I think he's running somewhere around 39 on the front, and about a 35 on the rear.
That does make sense. It might seem like a bit
break. You talk in the meantime.
Yes, and after you're back, I'll do the same. And what's happening here? What exactly has happened here? Is the safety car on broadcast? Have we made a mistake here? Because
I think I don't understand
the
this.
Safety cars on broadcast.
I don't understand this though, because I'll be honest with you, Chips. The first safety car that we got, it went to immersive, and now suddenly this has gone to broadcast. So I'm not sure what's happening here.
So the thing is, when we were setting up the lobby, it wouldn't let me change the safety car. But once I moved it to 25%, I forgot to realize that it would automatically change from safety car being off to safety car being on. But that's quite stupid, I would say.
Yeah. So wait, this is screwed out shooter then, because now there's nothing that he can do. It's either come into the pits right now or he'll get disqualified, because he can't extend. Possibly he can't extend the gap any further than this.
So that's a little.
So yeah, I mean,
mistake on our part. He is boxing.
He has to box. He has no other choice. So Harsh would become de facto leader, and 5-second penalty.
Oh! There's a massive amalgamation, a conglomeration of cars here, all going into turn 1. Shooter, we are.
This is P3 now. Abhishek has dropped back.
This is supremely close right at the top here. And I can see some people making contact. It's Harsh and Jishnu, I think, is it? It is.
Yeah.
And Vivek's going for the move as well. Wicket Vicky into the lead. Harsh and Vivek's made contact. Yeah, there was some slight contact. Oh, Harsh has been tagged by somebody. And there's an Alpine in the wall. That's Noble Garter in the wall. That could be. Could be a VSC.
I mean, we have one more safety car remaining, don't we? In the
we do. Exactly, we do.
So no VSCs. That's a good thing to see. Not so good if your name is Noble Garter right now.
Oh, Vivek had to go deep. Satvik might get him on the switchback, but I think Vivek gets better traction.
Satvik will use battery, but keep in mind Vivek does have a very decent slipstream coming off.
Jishnu on wicket, Vicky. Jishnu is going for the move, and Jishnu will probably make it stick around the.
It's very close though. Wicket Vicky has to give it up if he doesn't want to spin out, and he does give it up. That's sensible driving right there.
Thankfully,
that's sensible driving right there.
From him.
Good to see. Good to see that sort of driving. Clean, efficient driving. I think Vivek and Harsh, they may have made contact because of how much tire difference both had. So possibly not a very good thing for Harsh. I do think it has to be.
Look at the top few. It's so close at the top. It's less than 3 seconds to separate the top 7. You don't see that in any form of racing nowadays.
But also, Chips, if you could just write a message on the thing telling people not to ready up, because we might, you do need to check settings.
Exactly, that's also why we were hoping that people wouldn't ready up. But yeah.
So, I mean, it's 50-50 right now on that whose fault it is. So let's not attribute blame to the league itself before we get too far up our own heads.
Exactly, we shall let this one slide. It's our first attempt at this as well, although I must say, this constant action is something that I'm really appreciating personally as a commentator.
Right now, because I think Jishnu, the thing is, Jishnu is not as clear-cut a winner right now because the guys behind him are in DRS range. And if you're Jishnu, the thing is, because you only have 4 more racing laps left, you will deploy a lot of battery in order to try to extend it to 1. And if you can't, then you're basically like screwed out of the race win. So let's see what happens.
Actually, Jishnu is not in the clear yet. He may be in the lead, but once DRS is enabled,
exactly. That's what I
meant. Will be
he
under.
Has to deploy. in order to extend. But if he deploys, he won't have anything to defend. So it's like a high-level chess match right now. And Satvik is deploying. You can see Satvik is deploying. That is very clear as day that Satvik is deploying to get past Vifix.
I think DRS will be enabled this time around.
Yes, it will be. This lap is when DRS should get enabled, and it does.
And I think this is going to be crucial for Abhishek to make the move as fast as he can. He may be in a Red Bull, but he still needs to make the moves.
Oh, let's see. Do they make contact?
Slight wheel banging.
That much is permissible. That
is really permissible. I do appreciate that. That's close racing. That's fair racing. Wicket Vicky can't really battle it. Even with the battery, he can't battle it. And Jishnu still stays ahead, but then again...
Right now, if Wicket Vicky wants P2, he has to let Abhishek catch up to Jishnu first. Because any battling they do now might push them outside the 1 second barrier. And I think Abhishek is making a good time. Yes, he is. And the top 5 are extremely close. Smith is in P6. And he is slightly outside DRS limits right now. So this top 5, unless something catastrophic happens in terms of incidents, this is the top 5 that will be there. But in what order? That is the pertinent question of the moment.
Jin, anybody could still win the race from here. Any one of these 5 drivers.
Let's say P1, P2 have a contact heading into turn 1, I'm not wishing it, but it's still a very high possibility. If you're Jishnu, do you try... I don't think the DRS switchback would work, though. This is one of those tracks where the realistic Bull's performance will really shine through because of the technical section.
So I think it's in Jishnu's best interest to just stick in the DRS of Abhishek.
Yeah, he has to, but...
Can he do that? Can he do that?
Very hard.
It's possible, but it's very hard. Even Jishnu may be a very fast driver, but it's really difficult to keep up with the Bulls.
He's limited by the realistic performance of his car, isn't he?
Exactly.
Bull car, it is much more
Raman and Smith trade places. And
Vifix is still chasing Wicket. I think Vifix could nab a podium here,
He could. He really could. It is completely within the realm of possibility because Wicket Vicky might have the faster car, but I think Vifix is on the better tires at the moment, even though it's on 6 lap old softs versus 6 lap old medium.
3 happened under the safety car, so
exactly.
There's not much of a drop off as much as you'd expect. And Jishnu could still get Abhishek, he has to be at least 4 tenths behind by the time they hit the main straight, otherwise Abhishek is going to keep position. That is the gravity of the situation Jishnu has. Jishnu is very much in the running for a race win here. I just hope his brake doesn't fail.
Yes.
That happened in the past.
Jishnu has had some bad luck with his equipment, but this is the penultimate lap. We are going to be going onto the final lap of this race. What has been an amazing race, amazingly entertaining race.
I mean, one good thing about the broadcast was that Satvik has a 3, and Wicket Vicky goes. Oh my God, Wicket Vicky went completely off track there. I don't think he gained any time, but he might be very close to getting a 3. So the last lap is all about holding your nerves. We'll see. Satvik will try a move down the inside, but
he has
also
to.
has DRS.
He's losing time to Raman. Raman is within 3 seconds, but who is going to be?
Not close enough.
I don't think anybody's going to be making a move here. That doesn't make sense. To make a move here, Wicket Vicky going for an audacious dive there. He loses time to Vifix and loses the position as well. Jishnu has also lost momentum. Will he get DRS? He does. So that was...
So does Vifix. Vifix will defend the inside. It's the better line to defend heading into this corner.
Jin, personally, I thought Wicket Vicky was a bit too far back to make the move there, or was he like...
Yeah, it seemed like a very ambitious call. I think he might have gotten so much overspeed because basic aerodynamic rule is if you're behind someone and you're in a slipstream, sometimes you get sucked in so much by the slipstream that your braking points change massively. So
exactly, that's what may have happened to him. So I don't blame Wicket Vicky right now. I think that was just unlikely.
I don't blame him. I mean, if it comes to the stewards room, then of course.
Then we shall obviously have a look. But yeah, can Wicket Vicky still get ahead of Vifix?
No, both of them are out of battery, so I think Vifix will keep position, barring anything catastrophic happen. It's going to be a run to the line.
It will be. And what about the battle up front? Abhishek is still ahead of Jishnu, but it's only by 3.5 tenths.
Abhishek has done enough.
I think he has. Abhishek has done enough. No way the Red Bull is going to struggle in the last few turns, but it's going to be Wicket Vicky versus Vifix. Wicket Vicky is going to go for a dive down the inside. Will he? He does. Vifix has to defend it around the outside with superior traction, and he gets it brilliantly.
Smartly defended.
Abhishek wins the race, and who's going to come out on top?
No, it's not. Wicket does not have enough of a track distance to cover from the DRS zone, because the finish line is quite close to the DRS zone here. So brilliantly driven by Abhishek, and Chips just put the message out so that we don't face the broadcast fiasco again. Sorry to anyone who might have been costed as a result of it, but yeah.
Wow, that was quite an entertaining race, I must say, and yeah,
pretty entertaining.
Smith lost a lot of time in the end, towards the end.
But
Raman
got still finishes P7, so good for him. Satvik, I think, lost a position to Raman as a result of his 3-second penalty.
Yes, he did, and I'm surprised what happened to Smith there in the last final 3 laps.
I'm not sure. We'll probably get to know about it if anything, but it's quite a good race to come back and commentate on. So yeah, we might be getting a few incidents. Oh, by the way, I might forget to write it post-race, but if anyone is hearing the stream right now, any of the drivers, when you give your incident report, please write whether it was in the sprint or the feature race. That makes it much easier to sort through POVs. Thank you.
Yes. I think I do like the way we handle reports now, the format wherein it's like each individual little post.
Yeah. I think the thread system is just more efficient because you don't have to scroll through a lot of here and there in order to,
Exactly, and each incident is like reviewed specifically. You don't have to like scroll around to have a look at the other incidents. But what a race! That's quite an... Oh, the fastest lap is bugged. Apparently Shooter's done a fastest lap of 3 seconds, 3.366 seconds. Shooter is a legend. So a living legend.
I don't think we can allot fastest lap points to anyone in this race.
Yeah, we can't. Although I don't think we do anyways. We don't allot fastest lap for sprint anyways.
Yeah, so that's fine. What a 3.366. That is W15 coming out next year.
Yes, I think Yash will be very, very happy seeing that, hearing that. Obviously. And there you go, the drivers have all readied up, and they've all clicked on advance. Please drivers, do not ready up. I must set the lobby now, but before anything else, I will check all the settings. Formation lap must be off. Oh my virgin, red flags were on. We could have had a red flag if there was a very that would have been horrible.
I mean, when Codemasters get something as simple as formation laps wrong, what hope do you have from red flags in that regard?
Exactly. That's quite unbelievable. But yeah, Jin, do you have the order for the first quali?
I will have to go back on the thing and check.
I think I have it set up on my phone. Do I?
Yeah, so I mean, because I don't have the money.
I do. Alright, so...
Okay, so I think Abhishek is on pole and Shooter is P2.
Alright. Got the order? Final order?
I'm just checking through because my data is a little slow right now.
Yeah, I got it. So Abhishek and Wicket. Alright, so... Should I pause? Should I pause the stream? Once I've set the order? Or
I think it's okay to not pause the stream for these because it's not like we are...
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is fairness, ladies and gentlemen. We are being so open with our grid allocation. Nothing's being hidden. The drivers can see their positions well. They do know where they're starting. I'm pretty sure of that. So, yeah, I think we have the order. Just can you confirm? It's Abhishek, Wicket Shooter.
Yes.
Vivek Satvik Domithor.
Yes.
Raman Shrikant Harsh.
Yeah.
Smith Harshi Noble and Jishnu.
Yes.
Alright.
Just send a screenshot of that in the group itself so that if anyone has, if anyone notices any mistake, they can easily tell us right now before we start the race.
Yes, I should do so right away.
But the broadcast did help with one thing, it sped up the entire process of the 25% race, so...
That is true. That is true. It did help speed up the process a bit more.
So it's Abhishek's, Wicket Vicky, Shooter, Vifix, Satvik, Domitor,
Can you restart? Can you restart?
Abhishek's?
Yeah. I've sent it over, just cross-check.
Yeah, I will just cross-check with you. 1 minute. And please set safety car to immerse.
I have. Yeah, I'm just checking the lobby settings once before we go ahead. I think everything else is fine. We just need to have a look at the safety car is immersive. Thank you. Formation lap and red flags are off. And everything else looks fine. I think, Jin, we are good to go.
We are good to go. Please ask everyone to ready up.
Let me just confirm session length is on 35%. Yes.
It is. 20 laps is 35%. Yes.
And there you go.
With 35% again, it's pretty much the same strat. You start on softs or mediums, and you want to end the race on... The hard tires are pretty much useless in a 35% scenario as well. So it's pretty much pedal to the metal kind of racing. Unless we get safety cars, which obviously will throw a spanner in the works in terms of strategy. So we'll see how this goes.
Alright, so Smith saying that there's been a bit of an issue. Let me just confirm that, check that one. Oh, they've already up. Wow. Smith saying that he and Hershey have traded places. So is that right?
Smith was P10, Hershey was P11 on the mainstream as well. So.
Yeah, he just texted me that he was P11, so I don't know if he's just trying to mess with me or...
He is P10.
It is...
Because Hershey, Noble and Jishnu all extended the track, so they got DSQ'd from the session.
Yes.
So by default, since Smith was the last person who actually set a legitimate within track limits time, Smith gets P10.
That's true. And I'm not sure why he wants to start P11 and not P10. But this time I hope Domitor can at least complete a few laps. But yeah, race more than... 50, Jin, you're being very kind. That was more like 7. I think start the race and... That was like the 1988 or 89 Italian Grand Prix. Some driver just made it 50 yards or something.
IRL Baku, where a certain...
Yes.
Someone...
Yeah, someone who can be beaten was beaten by the system itself. But yeah, Jin, what's the strategy like? What's the strategy?
Strategy would be, I mean, it's... You want to end on the fastest tire possible. Because the thing is that there's not much really in terms of strategy that goes, because 35% is just like 25%. So you go on soft, mediums, medium softs, any one of the variations really of this strategy.
That's going to be interesting, but we have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights.
They illuminate.
And away we go.
It's the start of the feature race at Bahrain once again. A good start by Wicket Vicky and Abhishek. Vifix slightly bogged down in terms of race start. He has the inside line.
Oh, Harsh has made a moment. Oh, the Ferraris have come together. There's an Alpha Tauri was jumping in the air.
Is it a safety car?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, I think Shooter and Vifix made contact. Does Vifix have any damage?
I think there might have been some damage, but I see Shrikant and Satvik very close. Satvik goes very deep and he loses the pace to the McLaren.
Just takes a position. Yeah, I don't think there's any damage from Vifix whatsoever. At least the front wing looked intact from my POV. So yeah, I think he was lucky. I think there was a little bit of RG-bargy, as Martin Brundle likes to say, or a little bit of RG-bargy racing right there.
RG-bargy, exactly. That was really...
The top two on mediums, so they are in for a longer stint, and from P3 till P8 it's softs.
Yeah, and this is like a little train of its own. The top, top 9 are in a battle of their own, and the bottom 4 are in a battle of their own. Harsh has gone completely off track. So it was actually Domitor and Hershey who came together at the race start, the 2 Ferrari teammates. That's not what you want to see if you're Fred Vasseur.
Shooter is hounding Wicket Vicky right now.
Wicket Vicky is struggling.
Yeah, because he's on mediums and he's got a Red Bull on softs. What do you expect?
What was that? I think that's what happened to Wicket Vicky in the race. The amount of closing speed that Shooter got just by being in a slipstream, that was ridiculously overpowered.
I can send you a video later of how Dirty Air It is very dangerous. Not more so in terms of MotoGP than it is in terms of Formula One. So yeah, just remind me later on, and I'll.
To Alpine's line turn, they make contact. Raman might have some slight front wing damage because he made contact with Noble Garter, and this might open up the window for Jishnu. Will it? It might. Jishnu had a shocking qualifying, if you remember.
Because Jishnu invalidated his lap. That's the
reason
why.
Exactly. He had a very shocking qualifying.
So the thing here is that I'd say, like, since there's no constructors to fight for per se in realistic division, because everyone gets allotted a different car every week. So yeah, I mean, go elbows out racing against whoever it may be.
And there is no constructors. You're racing just for your own sake. You're racing as a driver. You're not racing for a team this time around.
D2 IRL Division 2 McLaren also had no constructors.
Yes, I think.
Wicket Vicky has gone off track again. I don't know what's happening. He keeps going off track.
Does he have damage? Doesn't have any visible damage that I can see, Jin. So
if it's
is he just struggling? Has he forgotten to load his setup? Because we. So Park, So viewers,
I completely ignored.
Park Ferme is off because anyways we can't enforce it because you have to restart the lobby every single time the drivers.
I think it's better that way though, because you get to see the fastest setups possible rather than a compromised one.
Exactly. When you're in normal race, you do make a compromise that whether you want to prioritize the quali or the race. But here,
personally, I always prioritize the race over quali.
Me too. Me too. I would. And that's why my quali pace has always been quite shocking, but it's better in race trim. Oh, Satvik and Vifix make contact. That was inevitable.
Satvik was very hot heading into that corner. That's more on the driver behind rather than the driver in front.
That's inevitable.
Like Thanos said, I am inevitable. But we need an I am Iron Man moment from someone right now. I think in the best interest of Abhishek, here's what I would do if I was Abhishek. I would let Shooter go. I would stay in his DRS so that I never lose any time. And from there, since I am pitting second and Shooter is pitting first, I just save my tires that way. Because you are not using as much tires if you are using DRS on someone rather than you being forced to set a pace that others have to comply to.
And Jishnu and Raman have been involved in a very brilliant battle.
I will say the track texture needs to improve, man. There's so much fog. What for?
No, Jin, that's realism. Apparently, there's sand flying all the time when the race is going on.
Yes, but sand is not white in color.
No, this is Codemaster sand. This is not real life sand. Come on, Jin.
Yeah, I think Vifix will probably overtake Wicket Vicky in the next 2 laps, given how it's going. Because Wicket Vicky, there's no way to defend for him. He can burn all the battery in the world that he wants.
But I think the Merc engine will really come in clutch for him. Even though Wicket Vicky might be in the same driving with the same engine, I think the Williams is just really low on drag, right? Is it?
No, it's very draggy. If it was low on drag, it was in a straight line.
So I think that's what happens in real life, not in the game necessarily.
There's a bit of argy-bargy going there, and that's more on Wicket Vicky. He has to give some space for racing. As Wicket Vicky gets into the slipstream of
Shrikant might go for a move. Shrikant had to take some avoiding action.
Shrikant has to take avoiding action right there.
That was too close. Raman and Satvik in a very close battle here. I think Satvik has to settle for P9. Yeah, Raman got into P8. Satvik has to settle for P9 for the moment.
I feel like Satvik, if he was slightly more patient, he would probably be running with the pack of Vifix, Wicket Vicky and Shrikant right now. But sometimes, people see a space and I'm not going to use that age-old adage because that quote in itself has ruined racing for so many.
I don't think it was provided with that in mind. It was provided in a very genuine context. Yes, that quote that you're talking about. I don't want to say it because I feel like the drivers they telepathically hear us sometimes during
I will just say this guy, what's his name? Alan Prost's quote though. As a response to that, he did say a lot of times this season I've left the door open, but if he keeps on doing something like that, then we're gonna crash. Simple as that. And I don't think Wicket will be close enough by the time the
But then again,
he might try it. No, he doesn't. It's actually very smart racing.
Yeah, he's learned from the sprint race. He made the same move on Vifix, I think, was it?
I mean, he has so many laps to go. Yeah. He tried it on
the last. No, that was somebody else. Yeah,
it was on somebody else. And he has so many laps to go. I mean, at this point, why would you realistically try to sabotage your race because if they overtake, it's gonna be a cycle of doing an overtake and then getting re-overtaken again. So at best, it's better to sit back. If you saw the F1 sim racing, is what they're calling the esports nowadays. F1 sim racing, Bahrain became a train because no one actually overtook. So in the last phase, everyone had 100% ERS to play with.
Although I think over here
dynamics are different, I'll be honest, but look at it this way. The top two is a foregone conclusion unless something disastrous happens. So at best, P3 is what they're fighting for, and Wicket Vicky is on a completely different strategy, which is the more advantageous strategy for him since he will be on softs by the end of the race. So there's no hurry here, basically.
Should he go long and go on to softs though? He will lose time on these mediums.
No, it is a medium to softs. It is a mediums to softs in a 35% race. If it was 50%, it's medium to hards. But in
we have a yellow flag for who's that? Satvik, is it? Yeah, Satvik
had he just spun. There's no safety car, so yeah.
Marbles on his tires. That's not gonna be working out very well for him. But Wicket Vicky is gonna go for a move.
Easy. Yeah. I would have backed out of the move, very honestly speaking.
I think Vivix will get DRS. He might.
And Wicket Vicky went very deep there into the corner.
Satvik in the box?
No. Wait, who does have Vivix as DRS? But I don't think Vivix is gonna actually try. Oh, Satvik has retired, but it's in the pit lane.
But why would he do that? There's still a chance for a safety car to come out. So
yeah, why would he just not? They're going side by side, and Vivix has to slot back into P4 again. And right now, with the way things are going, it's basically the problem is that Wicket Vicky is not pulling out enough of a gap on Vivix in order to actually keep position. So I have a feeling that main straight we're going to see a position exchange. Again, Satvik's car is out on track.
I saw a bit of a movement between Domthor and Hershey, I think, is it? Because I think Hershey's fallen a few places.
Yeah, I know Satvik has DNF, but his track is out. His car is out on track, turn 1.
Yeah, and it's caused Harsh some grief.
Yeah, I don't know if it was ghosted in Harsh's POV or not, because he did DNF.
It should disappear, yeah.
It should disappear now. So,
but Jin,
can't really complain about those.
But Jin, that's what happens in real life as well, right? When, for instance, say George Russell has a bit of a moment, like he did in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So he crashed out. So isn't it logical that he comes into the pits, chucks on a new set of tires, and then comes back out onto the track and retires near a marshal post instead of retiring in the garage? Isn't that logical?
Racing is supposed to be. That is what racing is all about. At the end of the day.
Exactly.
See, this is what I mean. Again, it's going to lead to a battle between Vivix and Wicket Vicky, where again there's going to be an overtake. We're going to see this
lap after lap. Raman's boxed. He is with the bullet already, so that's, I'd say, a bit early to go on to mediums. 13 laps.
Yeah. 13 laps, it can be done, but tar performance will come at
Shrikant almost wipes out Vivix. That is some great car control by Shrikant to keep his car from hitting Vivix's car.
I admire both Shrikant and Vivix for is both of them are running ABS off, so that must have been a very heart and mouth moment right there.
Vivix is struggling.
Nobody gained time. He gained time. Exit.
Yeah, he's losing the rear end here, so I think the Williams has really come into full effect here. He is losing time.
He'll still have DRS.
He will. Although I must say Shrikant's racecraft is really improved over the time I've seen him. I've commentated on his races.
Yeah, I've noticed Shrikant racing for a long time, and barring like his own mistakes, I don't think he actually hurts anyone else's races
anymore. Yeah, he was a bit of a wild card back in the day, and that's a wild card for strategy. That's a safety car. That's a wild card for strategy.
All soft runners. That benefits all soft runners, not Shooter though, because Shooter and Vicious are so far ahead that one of them will pit. Who will pit though? Who will bite the bullet between both of them?
I think they both will box. Raman gets a drive-through
penalty. Yeah, that's race over for Raman unless there's another safety car.
And is somebody going to stay out? Every single driver is coming into the box, as you can see right there.
Wait, that means the medium runner will pit on a hard. He has no other strat.
And Shooter, what will Shooter do? Medium?
Somebody could take the gamble here and go on to medium. Somebody could, amongst the soft runners.
I think quite a few of them are doing. Actually, Jishnu has pit. No, that's Jishnu one. So Vivix has gone on to mediums. Shooter's on mediums.
Held up for some reason.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, he's...
Wicket Vicky's on softs?
Huh? Yeah, Vivek got held up. Vivek got held up in the pits.
But Wicked Vicky is on softs, fresh soft tires.
Oh, so Wicked Vicky. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. Wicked Vicky will pull out about, let's say, 1.7 seconds on Vivek. But, and most importantly, tires will run out. There's no way it's lasting. What? Let's say the safety car comes in lap 10. There's no way it'll last. By the end of it, he'll be
This is a lifeline for Harsh. This is a lifeline for Harsh actually.
Yeah,
who was nowhere.
Lifeline. He has to go on to, if he has another pair of mediums, I'd go on.
Actually, he can go to mediums, why does he need to go on to hards?
Yeah.
So I think Wicked Vicky anticipates another safety car, which actually I wouldn't put it as being a very far-fetched conclusion. It could actually be within the realm of possibility for us to have another safety car. But yeah, let's see what the field spread is like once the rest of the pack catches up. Harsh has a long distance to cover before he catches up to the back of Raman, who has a drive-through. Obviously, the only driver to have a drive penalty of any sort in the race at this point in time. So
don't quote my word for what I'm going to say next, but I think the delta between fresh hards and fresh mediums is 0.367 on this track. And Smith is on mediums. He hasn't pit yet. I think Smith anticipates another safety car. Depending on how fast Shooter can get past Smith, the race lead is within his grasp.
That's true.
Depending on how fast, of course, that is. I mean, I'm going to quote something from the 2021 season, but once the safety car restart happens, these will be critical corners.
Apologies, I was having some water there. But yeah, these will be critical corners for the Grand Prix. And yeah, every single one of these drivers has a chance of the championship. Every single one of them.
Depends on regularity of attendance though.
Oh, somebody's in the box. Somebody's in the box. That's Jishnu.
That's Jishnu. Oh, Jishnu I think was on hards. Now he'll go on to mediums. Brave call. I mean, he won't fall behind Harsh. So he's P10.
He probably will. Jane, he probably will, because look at where Harsh is.
Yeah, but
he will be behind Harsh.
It's not a full grid. It's not a full grid right now.
Yeah.
So the good thing for Jishnu is, and the only good thing for Jishnu is that he has lesser cars to overtake. Had it been a full grid, I mean 20 drivers, then in that case, you'd still have 18 running right now. So this is all good as things stand.
Definitely. And Smith has committed to staying out. So he will be taking the restart. So he is the stopgap between Abhishek and Shooter.
Yeah, depends. Let's see what Smith actually does.
I think Smith would have liked to be in the lead.
For sensible.
But yeah, so, yeah, definitely. Smith is one of the cleaner drivers that we do know of, and thing is, I think he's just been struggling with. He's not had much time playing F123. Yes. I don't think he's just not played the game that much.
Pretty much the same for me as well, Chips. If you compare my hours to what everyone else's hours are, they are catastrophically low.
I think Harsh has double the amount of hours that I do.
And I think I just cracked 100 hours in Abu Dhabi on this game. So you can just imagine how little I've driven this game.
I think I have about 250. That's fair.
It's just an innate understanding of how setups work in this game that helps me out a lot.
Yeah, I just show up to get some experience, and I was pretty rubbish at 22. So
I mean, all of us were rubbish at 22.
Yeah, but I think
because apparently on no traction control, a car generating that much amount of downforce has to feel like ice out of every corner.
And come on, isn't it realistic to have wheel spin in 5th gear, Jane?
It is. It's ultra realistic. They did say 22 and 23 both are made with real life driver inputs. So I don't know which driver they got the input from in 22. Nikita Mazepin most probably.
UG Ide, maybe?
UG Ide, Nikita Mazepin most likely. I mean, Mazepin for me is still the greatest
Ricardo
rookie campaign
Rosset?
ever.
Yeah, Ricardo Rosset. But yeah.
Mazepin 2021 greatest rookie campaign ever because, well, I mean, he made Mick Schumacher look like $1 million, which is not the easiest thing to do. Yeah.
And they've all bolted, anyway, and two people in the pit. No, there's Raman in the pits immediately.
Yeah,
sensible. That's sensible. But I think that's Smith who's going to lose 2 places in one corner.
It's gonna be one
no,
place.
It could be 2 because Wicked Vicky gets better traction, and Smith does not have any traction. I think his tires are not warmed up.
Yeah,
he will not cause any trouble for Vivek. I'm sure they're in the same party chat, so Smith should let him by without too much
issue. Not at this corner though. It's not at this corner, exactly. It's a little dicey to let him through at that.
I must
junction.
say, we are not considering Noble Gata here. He's in a very good position to score some very good points. Possibly
will score very good points. Of that, there is no doubt.
Oh, Vifix going for an aggressive dive there.
That's
aggressive.
That's a beautiful move.
That's a great move. But Noble Gata also going for the opportunistic moment there. He saw an opportunity. He went for it. Smith can he get his car slowed down though?
He can. Oh my! But that's helped Vifix out because look at the gap Vifix has now created as a result of Smith's move.
That's about 8/10. But who's it gonna be? It might be Shrikant for all you know. He's gonna go for a move down the inside, but he goes on the curbs, he mounts the curb, he makes a mistake.
Yeah, and that makes you lose traction. It is realistic though. That's why the real life drivers also avoid that curb.
Yeah, you don't really take that curb or the curb at the fast right-hander. Yeah. But then again,
look at how much Abhishek has pulled away, and Wicket Vicky is chasing down Shooter. The sensible thing for Shooter now would be to let Wicket Vicky go because Wicket Vicky is the only one who can realistically catch up to Abhishek.
If Wicket Vicky can get past him, I think it's fair enough to let him go. Otherwise, Jishnu and Harsh. Jishnu has had a massive moment. I just captured that on cinematic camera a moment before it happened.
And Jishnu is
really?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
he's gonna carry on. He's gonna carry on. He'll wait for another safety car. That's super unfortunate. I didn't know why they had to come together like that.
I'm gonna point out something right now since the race is in what I'd like to call a little bit of a lull period. One thing I'd like to point out is this. So in realistic performance, more than equal cars, I know Raman for a fact drives full traction control. Now the problem with full traction control in realistic cars is the performance bridge is that ever higher. So we're going to see some struggle periods for Raman as a result of it.
I think in general it's just the... Actually, where does full traction help you out? Because you don't
full traction, rain. In the rain period.
In the rain, yeah.
Other than that, very... tracks which don't require too much of gear changing in context of like there's a lot of sweeping corners in that track. So those are the two kinds of tracks that two kinds of conditions that benefit you a lot.
That's true.
Other than that, there is no other ground where full traction is better than no traction.
I did speak to him. He did say that he can drive medium traction, but he's not very confident with it. But I think
no better time than the present to learn things.
Exactly.
And Shrikant is closing in on Noble.
Wicket Vicky is closed up on Shooter and he might go for a move, but there's no DRS enabled. As of now...
he has to stick behind. Next lap, I think DRS gets enabled.
I think it's on this lap, is it? Maybe the next lap.
I don't know, but
let me just have a look.
So much time.
DRS is enabled this lap. So
by the way, if you notice something, I think Shooter is a medium traction control driver and you can notice the difference between the medium
Shooter's on the wheel.
And he drives medium traction control as well.
That's something I did not know.
know. If you look at his onboards and how his throttle input is, you can easily figure out what assist someone is running.
Oh, almost runs into the back of Wicket Vicky there, Shooter.
I think Vifix more or less has P3 sealed because Wicket Vicky has to pit. And even if he doesn't pit, he's going to be caught by the end of the race.
But Jin, I must say, you did notice the tire drop-off for Vifix. Sorry, the way his grip just disappeared at the end of his soft stint. That could happen in the mediums as well.
No, the Williams and the McLaren are negligible in terms of tire wear. So if that happened to Vifix on softs, and it's pretty much around the same for what the McLaren has in terms of tire drop off, lap 17 is where I give it at best. Lap 17.
Alright, I'll still say that Vifix will struggle give around lap actually, yeah, that's fair enough. I'll say 17 as well. 17 should be a reasonable time for him to start struggling, but then again,
if a safety car comes out right now, you would obviously the go-to move is to pit on softs. There's no other way around it. If you stay out, you're only costing yourself the race at that point. It's not like Monaco, where you can just like defend on...
And Shrikant has a double lock-up into turn 1, but I think he played it to perfection because he will probably get DRS. If I'm not wrong.
Have happened,
no, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Noble Gato will. So I think what might have happened there is he might have done something known as for non-ABS users there is something known as pump braking, where initially you slow down the car, and for some reason the physics in this game equates it to tire smoke of the brakes. and then he might have braked once again because he might have noticed that he was going way too hot into that corner. So overall, a very smart way of dealing with things. But look at the difference between the Red Bull and the McLaren in terms of equal performance, because Vicky is not catching up as fast as he.
And he's not able to pull away. He's not able to pull away. This is actually, I think it's limiting Shooter's potential by having him stick behind Vicky at the moment.
Yes.
So,
but of course, Vicky and Shooter would want to avoid any collisions or any dodgy overtakes right now, because the moment they do and Vicky gets into the DRS zone, it becomes automatically a 3-car battle, and that's something that both of them in their collective mindsets are talking about right now.
And Shooter's going for the dive down the inside, but I think he'll still get DRS right down the main straight. He probably will, and that is, you can't make out with all this fog who's ahead, but it is clearly the Red Bull here, as we can see. And this is a nice little battle going on here. Domithor and Smith were in a race of their own for P8. Obviously, Smith has to make a pit stop, but that's nice to see that they're still battling despite the position that they are in.
Yeah, I think Smith might have been holding on to hope for a safety car, and yeah.
It's not over yet, though, Jin. Anybody could still make a mistake. Harshi's mistake, we were just calling it a wild card. It came out of the blue, and this time around, I don't see any of those wild cards.
Harshi has struggled massively in this race.
He has.
Yeah, he DNF'd in both the races, so not a very good weekend for him.
Yeah, and it's, I think, been a decent weekend for Satvik, who has
but look
just
at
had
this
a moment
now.
Here, but yeah.
Wicket Vicky has lost 3 tenths to Vifix.
And Shrikant is there or thereabouts with the gap, I'll say, Jay.
Yeah, so he's now lost 2 tenths. He's now lost 2 tenths.
That's just one corner.
Shrikant has gained 1 tenth. No, but it just shows you that there is a difference happening now between tires. Otherwise, this wouldn't necessarily be the case.
Yeah, that's true. I'll say that, but the driver behind Vifix has not been more than, say, 1.8, 1.9 behind at any given point in time.
At the end of this lap, give it lap 15, I mean, not lap 14. At the end of lap 15, take my word for it that barring any mistake, Shrikant will be 1.64 behind Vifix.
1.64?
Yeah.
That's very specific. Let's wait to see that. That's the next lap.
Here is where Vifix will lose out on a bit of time, since Wicket Vicky still has DRS. But yeah, the corners, you can really see that the edge grip is coming into play for Vifix more than it is.
Smith is boxing. Smith is in the box on the soft tires,
right
but
there because he's boxing. Yeah.
But I think, you're right. Vifix will, I think he gains all his time in the corners despite not having a very good car.
Because I told you, edge grip is coming into play right now, and you can see how much time Wicket Vicky is necessarily dropping, because his softs don't have the grip.
It's a very odd strategy though, Jin, I'll say, to take softs that long.
I can see it
12
working.
laps.
No, I can see it working, but the problem is anytime a strategy has a contingency attached to it, like an if or a but, that if a safety car comes out, something like that, that ideally is not the strategy you should be going for. Yes, if the grid is packed, then in that case you probably can, because more cars equates higher chances of a safety car, but without it, this is the truth of the scenario right now. But he's pulled away again, Wicket Vicky, look at that, he's using battery, I'm pretty sure, and he's gotten DRS, so he's just doing enough.
Let's have a look at your prediction, Jin. It's 1.70, you said 1.64. That's very specific, I'll say. And I think unless Shrikant has a moment here, that is what it's going to be like. But I think
no, he had a moment exiting the last corner.
Yeah.
It's 1.70 or
1.75. So that's a 10th off, but Jin, that's almost picture perfect. I will give that to you. That's a very good prediction. Domithor, that's a yellow. It's just a yellow, he just had a spin. But I
almost thought.
Yeah, me too. I almost thought we would have a safety car.
Like Cody used to bring one thing in the next installment of the game is if a car breaks down, I'll say, or has a accident near the pit lane entry, the pit lane entry should be blocked as it is in real life.
It should, exactly. But then again, Jin, we don't really police all that. So, say in qualifying, somebody has gone off ahead of you and there's yellow flags. We don't police that. They police that in real life, wherein the drivers do slow down.
I think there should be more of a policing of these things, because No, but then there's another problem, right? With that, you never know who could strategically
Purposely,
like
yeah,
a
exactly.
2006 Monaco or Nico Rosberg
Exactly. Exactly.
could bring
Although
it on.
I'll
And
say not
Vivix has
worth it.
dropped back.
It's not worth it
Vivix has
to
dropped
police
back.
that. Although I would like to see no hosting being being enforced.
Yes, I raced in a league back in F1 21. It was with, and I'm telling you this right now that I was racing with people from Australia in that league, and the league had ghosting off. So we thought initially what my reservations as a driver was that I thought that it would actually be really bad racing, but it turns out that people are much more
Careful.
calculated and
Yeah.
careful when there is ghosting off. I legitimately do think ghosting should be off because I feel like that makes us better drivers.
I do as well,
Noble
but
has gotten past Shrikant
yeah,
in
I
all
was
this
just
talk, but
focusing
then
that.
again, it was just an
I think it's
inevitable
inevitable with DRS. Jin,
Yeah,
I will say that we don't usually do ghosting off is because drivers are not used to it. Most drivers just expect the car who spun ahead of them to ghost.
One other problem that comes with keeping ghosting on is suppose someone has desynced in the lobby.
Yeah.
You run into an issue wherein Shrikant has
Did
gotten
Noble
past
miss a gear or something?
I think Noble missed a gear. He might have
no
gotten
way
walked down.
Yeah, and Shrikant did not make the most of that. He had a moment coming down the hill towards the hairpin, so
yeah, but as
really
I was
worked out for
saying,
him. But yeah,
no time like the present to enforce these things, and I'd really love it if we as a league took an initiative to actually have ghosting off, because then you could.
Honestly, yeah.
Ghosting on, the problem that we run into is suppose someone is desync from the lobby, but it's still on your screen, and he looks like a ghosted car. People take liberties with how to overtake it, even though we specifically do tend to mention that race the car like how you'd race a normal car.
Yeah, although I think that might see some backlash though, because some people are just not used to having to avoid the car ahead of them.
See, I will be honest, Chips, if we do enforce it, the first few weeks I don't think are going to be smooth sailings with it, but eventually people will get used to racing with ghosting off. And I think it's just, it's better development of race etiquette in that sense. So
I think that's a very correct statement you make. I will bring this up with Redstone and Yash. So I think we can have a good discussion about this, but I don't think there's much of a discussion. We are all, I think, in favor of this. So, okay, there, ladies and gentlemen, that's an amendment to the rule book that you're hearing right here, live on the stream. We will most likely be disabling hosting of any kind for the upcoming races. I will say that it will be a bit of a learning curve for, say, quali, when you'll see the car ahead of you is just solid and it's not ghosted.
Yeah, but I mean,
when it's fun, but I think it'll help better racing because people won't go for audacious moves and they will actually have to use their skill to slow down if there's been a spin or there's been a crash.
Yes.
They don't do that. That's what I've noticed. Yeah. People just don't slow down when there's been a crash or there's a safety car or something because they just keep going.
Next week the race is coming to you live from Shanghai, a circuit which F1 hasn't been in since 2019, if I'm correct.
That's true.
So it's like a welcome back. It's like a great welcome back. I think Shanghai is one of the last good Herman Tilke design circuits. So
I do miss Malaysia quite a bit. I would love to see it back on the calendar, but I mean, knowing EA, they can do it. Knowing EA, they can do it.
I mean, but that depends. They're a little bit frugal with their money spending. Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
If anything, because I know exactly how much. I wouldn't say I know exactly how much, because I know that Malaysia would command a certain licensing fee to be used in these games.
Of course. Are you aware of how much that licensing fee would just be the ballpark of the figure?
I'm not exactly sure in the ballpark range of it. I'd have to check with how much the MotoGP game gives for Malaysia, and then from there you can draw a conclusion of about a double amount that for Malaysia, since it's F1 and more people play F1 than they play MotoGP.
Would it be in the 100,000 or the millions? I think it would be in the 100,000, right?
Yeah, it will be somewhere in the 5-figure thousands range, but I don't necessarily know if it's 100,000 or more. It's a little bit of an ambiguity.
I'll say that maybe, say for a track as popular as Monaco, what is Vicky doing? Why was he just hanging back? Does he want to go for a move in the last lap?
I think it's the last lap. He's probably going to try.
We have not talked about Abhishek since the restart.
I mean,
no need to talk about him. He's in control.
No need to talk about him. completely in control.
Oh, Shrikant at a moment, and this is a battle I'm really enjoying. Noble Garter and Shrikant, they have been
and it's good to see that none of them have 3-second penalties. Otherwise, even if
it's
the
only
overtake
Harsh.
happened,
It's only Harsh who has a 3-sec, and I think that may also have been.
This has been quite a clean race we can given all things because the safety cars that have come out due to individual errors.
What happened there?
No, Noble Garter, his front.
And Wicked Vicky and Noble make the move simultaneously. Shooter has better grip and will get the better traction, but will he be getting the better straight line speed? It will probably be Wicked Vicky, I think.
No, it's Shooter.
So that's worked out well for Shooter. But Wicked Vicky, oh, there is contact. They almost took each other out.
There's just one bad move. Oh my god, they're wheel banging again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Noble goes deep. Wicked gets ahead of Shooter on this is the last lap, mind you.
Anything look at how much Vivix has made up now because of this.
Vivix could be in with a shot, you know, here.
Yeah,
of P2, of P2. If they come to blows, sorry, if they come to blows,
I sincerely hope they don't. Vivix is in DRS range, by the way, now, as a result of whatever is happening ahead.
I think this is all or nothing for Shooter.
How much Vivix has closed up.
All or nothing for Shooter. He's gonna go for it around the outside. Will he get the better grip?
The outside. Yes, he does. He has on
Wicked Vicky could not do anything. Yeah, Wicked Vicky could not do anything.
His rear is dancing out right now.
Yeah, that's the end of his. He's lost all grip.
Yeah, it's the reverse of the scenario in the sprint race now. It's Vivix who's chasing Wicked Vicky.
Oh, Abhishek wins. Abhishek wins.
Oh my god! Wow, man! Like, yeah. Anyways. Oh no. Anyways.
I think Vivix got a little better exit, but it's not going to be enough.
Wicked Vicky has done one more lap, and probably the case is different. It's going to be close again. But yeah, that is a well-driven race by Wicked Vicky. I think he might have been close to puncture territory. I can't be exactly 100%. Because look at the amount of time they both lost in battling.
They did.
And Shrikant finishes ahead of Noble Garter. Jishnu finishes ahead of Harsh.
And Jishnu got Harsh had the 3-sec penalty.
Yes, so as a result of it, 2.3. So that means he finished what?
I think Abhishek still got the fastest lap. Smith could not even get close to it at the end.
It's a Red Bull versus
but
Alpha
there
Tauri.
again. Yeah.
What do you? If it was a Ferrari versus Red Bull, maybe things change. But Alpha Tauri versus Red Bull, it's kind of.
What a commanding performance by Abhishek, though. Commanding performance. From the very first quali session till the main race, nothing stopped him. That's remarkable. And wow, it's a Red Bull 1-2, Jin. Did you expect that in your wildest dreams when you started this session tonight?
I mean, I will say one thing though. To spice up league racing, this is gonna be my idea for Codemasters. To spice up league racing, they should introduce mechanical faults in league racing as well.
That would. I'm not sure how the RNG works, but.
There's this one league which I heard back in F1 22. Before we go down results, I will just tell you the idea. The league was called as a realistic parts wear league, where in the sense that each part was allocated a certain number of laps that they could be used for. Like let's say engine could be used for 100 laps, including qualifying. So if you cross the threshold of 100 laps on your one engine, you'd be then disqualified from that race since you're technically overusing the limit of what that engine is supposed to do. So that was a pretty fascinating idea, and you'd see that people would often take grid penalties as such, and everything would happen in that league. So it was an interesting idea and concept, but of course it requires meticulous attention to detail in order to keep up with whatever has happened.
To be able to track every single driver and reserves engines.
But I don't think it's a bad idea per se.
It isn't.
And for reserves, the easier thing you could do is whichever seat they're allocating engines, they take the allocation of the driver they're replacing.
Because that's how it happens in real life.
Yeah, so you don't have to change things for it.
Exactly.
That's that. We'll have to call 4 people if I'm correct, because Vivek's got the podium in the sprint, so we'll have to.
I don't think we do for the sprint, right? We don't do.
Yeah. So the main race only.
Yeah, for the main race. So that's going to be the 2 Red Bulls.
I mean, in real life they take podium interviews for the sprint winners as well, but. Yeah.
Let me just invite Abhishek. Wicked Wiki, I can't find him. Wicked Wiki. Can you find Wicked Wiki?
No. I don't think I have him added. There's a lot of people I have not added as a friend, so yeah.
That is true. I will request Shooter and Abhishek to maybe add him if they have him added. So I think we have Shooter with us. Hello, Shooter. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Shooter. Welcome. Firstly, congratulations on your P2.
Thank you.
But before we proceed do you have Wicked Wiki added to your in your friends list?
Yeah, I'll add him.
Can you just add him to the party, please? We can't find him online. But yeah, Shooter, while you do that, can you just give us your initial feedback on this weekend format? How did you like it?
See, everyone will have their own opinion because it's something different which we always do. So yeah, it was good. I felt it was very nice because once everyone will get used to, people will appreciate it. Yeah, it's nice. As for me, it was nice.
This is the closest we can get to replicating the real life sprint
without
format.
wasting too much time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
We're done by the usual league racing time right now. I think by the looks of it, also it's sensible.
No, the IRL race would still be going on.
Yeah, actually, we do go on really long, but I think this is something different. We're just trying out different things, and we're just wanting to get driver feedback for how the weekend felt for you. So we will get to that in a moment, but we should start off with you, Wicked Wiki. Are you here?
Yes, bro. I'm here.
Wicked Wiki, that was really nice for you. That was a good strategy call by you. I specifically was very doubtful that it would work out for you on the soft tires in the end.
Bro.
But yeah, it did. You did manage to hang on by the skin of your teeth, I think, in the end. You were very feisty though. Just walk us through your race and your strategy call to go on to the softs instead of the hard tires.
Oh, so bro, in the first race I started on softs and I thought I'd made a mistake. So in the next race I started on mediums and the safety car didn't come out on the right time for me. So I knew I couldn't box for hards. If I boxed for hards, my race was over there. So I chose to go on softs. And after that, Abhishek was in a league of his own, and I had a good battle with Shooter. I was just trying to save my tires in the last few laps, and was planning to attack on the final lap. I did try the attack; it kind of went successful, but I think on the last DRS straight, Shooter got me. So yeah, it was a good battle overall, and I enjoyed the race.
I'm actually quite surprised with it that you actually had any tires left to battle and try to get ahead of Shooter at the end there, but that was really well done. And you overall, throughout the weekend, you had some very good pace. I think I saw you towards the top in both the quali sessions as well. So well done to you. Really well done.
Thank you.
Jin, anything you want to ask him?
The only question would be how close were you to puncture territory on the softs?
Bro, I was on 50%.
Oh,
okay.
I'm not sure.
All right, got it.
Percentage.
Puncture territory is 75, give or take. So.
Oh, okay.
It's quite good. You could have done a few more laps then.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, that's really
good job on keeping in the DRS train till the end. Good race management in that aspect by you.
Thank you, bro.
Congratulations on the P3, and I think it was P4 in the sprint race. Yes, if I'm correct.
I think that's correct.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's correct. All right.
No worries. Well done to you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Moving on to, would you guess it? Would you have ever guessed it in your wildest dreams? The two Red Bulls, P2 and P1, unexpected, but Shooter, you did have to fight for it at the end there. You had the better car, but you did have to fight for it. He did give you a hard time. So, yep. But despite that, you did come out on top. Congrats to you. How was your race?
It was very eventful. I'll tell you that after just 2 days back, I did no assist. Only I'm keeping the racing line on corners only. So ABS off and traction completely off. I was running medium traction before. So for me, getting up to pace is a hard task as of now, because I was just worried on the turn 1 and turn 10 whether I lock up or not. So I was losing pace to Abhishek. But yeah, in the end, it was very clean, and I really enjoyed it, especially the 25% and 35% rate. 25% I was enjoying in the first 4 laps because after that I was no control over the car, so I had to pit late. And in the main race, it was very eventful, very nice, and I did manage to keep it on track. I told Wicked also, I messaged him that if you are attacking so much, then I'll let you go because I'm running no assist on. I'm running with no assist, so
ABS off included?
Yes.
Good.
That's very good. I don't think I saw you lock up a single time.
Yeah, no, I didn't lock up a single time.
I didn't lock up at all.
That's very impressive, shooter. Really well done. And it's props to you for trying to get rid of some assists.
Yeah.
That'll help you become a much better driver than you. You don't really need that. You're really a very good driver, but yeah, it will just help improve your skill quite a bit.
No, and in the beginning, when the main race started, I saw Abhishek was struggling little on medium tires. He was losing it on turn 8, I guess. So there I became very throttle happy. So I had a moment where Vicky was able to catch me, and after that it was just us whole race.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, but overall it was good. It was good, and props to Abhishek. 15 seconds. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to ask, Shooter?
No, not really. I mean, it's basically a very good battle that we saw between them. Both of them kept it clean, kept it respectful, and that's the kind of racing that we love to see. Yeah, that's that. I literally have nothing more to add.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, cometh the hour, cometh the man, I guess. Such a dominant win. I hope no internet issues for him happen. But yeah, good driving there by Abhishek. Yeah, I mean, as dull as this may sound right now, just walk us through your race, because you pretty much had very little to do in both the sprint and the feature race.
Yeah, I mean, the car definitely gave it much better than it was supposed to be, but the sprint, I would say, was a bit more exciting because I got pushed back in the safety car restart, so it was exciting to race a little bit in the sprint. But in the main race, I just forgot to change my setup, like the tire time, like my tire pressures, so they were just too high. So yeah, in the first stint, like Suter said, I was struggling on traction because my tires were just too hot, and I was actually surprised on the second stint because I expected him to stay with me or come back at me on the mediums. But yeah, it explains it now that he's running no assist. He's still getting used to that, because I was looking forward to a fight since I was on the hard tire. I did think of going on the softs, but it is a Red Bull, so it was still pretty safe to go on to the hards. But yeah, the hard tires felt much better, and I guess they were too busy battling each other, Shooter and Vicky, so I got a lot of breathing space, and then I guess they were just battling each other. It was fun to see the gap between them. Most of the race I was just trying to see if Vicky's going to pass him or not, and when he did pass him on the last lap, it was quite exciting. But Shooter did get back at him, and also congrats to VFix as a very good pace on the Williams. But otherwise pretty straightforward race.
Definitely, that's really good pace for you, Abhishek. I don't think anybody. You got pole in both sessions, right? As well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what's it called? Grand Slam. You got 2 poles and two race wins from a single weekend.
Oh yeah, before I forget, congratulations to Shooter for setting a 3-second lap time in the
in the
race.
sprint. Shooter, that was magnificent. Absolutely. You may have been messed up due to the broadcast safety car, but you did set a 3-second lap around Bahrain. How you did that, just not sure. Walk us through your absolute unparalleled skill for that. Nonetheless, well done to you, Abhishek. That's a very, very good performance. Amazing pace by you, and I think you can get ready to see the Haas AlphaTauri next time around. So enjoy this car while it lasts.
I was just happy to be able to connect the session, honestly.
That's true. But, definitely looking forward to seeing all of you in different cars next time round. I think that's that. Jim, is that?
Yeah, that's that.
Before we go, I just want to ask that. You want to ask something?
No, I was just going to say before we go, to everyone who watched the stream, I was just going to say that thank you for sticking with us in the new format and everything. This is basically only for sprint weekends. So I hope that there are no confusions whatsoever with how we set up the grid and everything else.
Exactly. I was just going to ask the drivers as well for their feedback, but I think we'll do that personally in the Discord.
We can do that in the
exactly.
Discord chat.
Yeah, so don't need to do that here. Just well done to all three of you. Actually, all the drivers who raced today. Very few DNFs overall, I'll say. Not what we usually see. But that's very promising to see.
Most DNFs were a result of own driver mistake. So the safety cars that came out was not because two drivers were like battling side by side and then something ended up happening. So yeah.
That's true. But yeah.
Thank you for making this an easy week on the stewards, I guess. Yes. By stewards, yeah. One of them is away on a marriage break right now, and the other is he just has a lot of time to kill. So yeah.
It's gonna be a nice simple weekend for your stewards this time around.
Yes.
But I think China should be a bit more, spicy. I think that's the best way to
see about that.
But yeah. Well done.
Thank you everyone for watching the stream. Thank you for watching the new format. I hope there are no doubts about how this format works now. And thank you to the drivers once again for racing clean, good, making good overtakes, and all in all just having a chaos-free weekend.
And thank you, Jim. Thank you. It was a pleasure to do comms alongside you.
It's been a pleasure to come back to the comms box after God knows how long, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you can
me.
You can make an appearance a few more times over the course of the season.
I'll probably do one for China as well, since it's quote unquote in some way my home race, so I have to show up for it.
That would be amazing. Do let us know if you can make that. But I think for now we shall end the stream here. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and see you all next week, next Monday for China. That's not going to be a sprint race. I don't think it is, right? It isn't. So yeah. Thank you, and we shall see you then. Until next time, thank you. Take care. Good night, and bye-bye.